Awesome.
So
hey, Pastor Joyce.
I'm going to bring her up. It looks like we can see and hear her. So she's
Awesome.
coming up right now.
Awesome.
Here we go.
Hi, Pastor Joyce. How are you? Sutton Turner.
Hey, Sutton, I'm doing fine.
Well, I am so excited to talk to you because of there's so many different reasons I'm excited about your church. First of all, I'm super excited on your church on the story of your church. So you're the lead pastor for everybody viewing. You're the lead pastor of First EPC in Kokomo, Indiana. It would be a more traditional, like, so you wear a robe, traditional with pews, organs. You're a new lead pastor. You came into the role right before COVID-19, but you were a part of the church as part of the leadership goes. And your church has an aging population. So there's a lot of factors that, to me, I think a majority of churches in America can relate to you. And so they're going to want to learn from what you've done during this time period. And so I'm just really excited to hear more about what's going on right now at First EPC, and then kind of what you've done with Facebook.
Yeah, great. Well, and I will say that we, yes, we're pretty traditional, but we are aiming to have a blended service. Okay. So our praise team has been carrying us in this time. When we can't have a choir, we have our organist there. So we are doing Facebook Live now.
Mm-hmm.
I was installed as the lead pastor March 8th, and wham, things happened.
Oh my!
Wow.
Yeah,
so awesome.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
So talk about baptism by fire. I'm glad that I've had relational connections and that type of stuff going on where I have the relationships with people to lead. So we had absolutely no live feed going on before this time.
Wow.
We would put up our sermon online within 24 hours, just an audio of that. And we were thrust into this, and through a great volunteer base, a retired teacher with some great audio stuff, he got us up online for that first week. And we are continuing to learn and improve with that.
Okay, so Pastor Joyce, walk me through this. You come on March the 8th. When did Kokomo, Indiana kind of shut things down? Was it like the 15th, the 16th? When was it, like 10 days later?
Yeah, well, on the 15th, you were able to have 250 or under. So we had service that week because we fit that category. I think we had 83 people there with the choir for the last time.
Okay.
And so then the next week we were shut down.
Wow.
And so that's when we went with Facebook Live that way.
So you made that decision, within a week's period of time, to go from we're having a church service on a Sunday to we're not having church service this upcoming Sunday. What are we going to do? Let's get this Facebook Live going.
Mm-hmm. By God's grace, we had our elder board already scheduled to meet on that following Monday, the 16th. And we knew that would probably be the last time we'd be face to face with one another. And so we were basically empowered in different ways as a smaller team to figure this out. One of the key things that we did have in place, there were some older cameras that we're still using already in place, but no one knew how to use them of the current tech team. So we had to figure that out. It's been a whole new lesson of spirit-filled living for me, because the last 5 minutes before we go live is often sort of stress producing. Is it going to happen or what? I'm just standing up there in front and the tech team is in back trying to work everything else to hit the live button. And by God's grace, it's happened.
That's
And
amazing. That's amazing.
I will tell you that one of the most encouraging things for me with the aging congregation we have is I have about 7 or 8 90-plus-year-olds who are able to access Facebook Live.
Wow.
And so they're able to join us.
That's awesome.
And for me, that's just the testimony of the greatest generation, to be able to get online and be with us during this time.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So your church, from a size standpoint, might be one of the first churches in your area to be able to come back on. You're going to have the benefit of being smaller in number. But that being said, you have an aging population that is the most, at risk of any population. So help us a little bit through that as the leader of that church, because you want to bring people together as soon as you can. You want people to see each other, worship together, but at the same time, then you've got to take care of your church.
Exactly. And we've talked about that. We had our leadership team together through Zoom, and they definitely want to continue with the live streaming because we know everybody is at different stages with this. There's no one size fits most. We got to figure out what is best for each situation. And for us, we know that people will come back in stages as they are able to work through their own situation. But to a couple who were in that 90-plus category, they had not been able to worship with us since November because of health issues.
Wow.
So what a blessing that now they can be a part of their church family because God got us in a spot that we had to do live streaming. And now they can be connected with us. So it's interesting, Sutton, that for congregations here in Indiana, the Center for Congregations has a tech grant out. And so it's basically up to $5,000 for an Indiana congregation, and they do 90% if you do 10%.
Oh, wow.
So let me tell you, we are doing that. I mean, we are getting our application ready because we've said this is here to stay. We just need to do our part to get updated so that we can get this streamlined and quality as well.
Right. Okay,
but it's a process.
That's amazing. So talk to us a little bit about your shepherding groups, your elders. So how are you trying to create community during this time, get people connected? You're probably having people view your church for the very first time. You were telling me, huge numbers on Easter with lots of people viewing your service. So tell me about the way that works in your church and how you're using your elders and the shepherding groups.
Sure. Well, the shepherding groups were set up ahead of this crisis, so that was good. But it's one of those things where we've got 9 elders, and each of them have between 18 to 20 people on their shepherding list.
Okay.
And so there's that sense that they know how to best communicate with them, whether that's through phone or text, or a lot of them they'd see them in church. So they knew that sense of connection. I will admit to you that, this whole shepherding thing has been a growing thing for us. We know elders are to shepherd the flock of God among them. So this seemed to make sense. And I'll say that some of my elders are better at doing this than others.
Sure.
Gifting. So when this happened, what I decided to do was add in the deacon. So an elder and a deacon are now paired up so that there's a sense of loving accountability that between the two of them, and if I know someone's weak, I'll give them a strong deacon in this to be able to make sure that this takes place.
That's
and
amazing.
So we're just on the growing edge of that, of learning the effectiveness. At what they've been paired up maybe 2 weeks. And so, but that's my hopes, is to keep them connected in that way. The more relational we can make this time, the better we'll be.
So how are you pastoring those shepherds and those deacons? How are you staying connected? Because you can't physically meet together yet. So how are you leading that team?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I think it was last Thursday, a week ago, I woke up and I was going to have a meeting with just 2 of my elders to begin brainstorming. How do we reopen? And then early that morning, I just thought, why am I only doing this with 2? So
Right.
I just called everybody on a communication system of my officers. I said, hey, I'm going to issue a Zoom invite for 11 o'clock today. So
Awesome.
Instead of 2 people, I had 16 people interacting around this topic of, how do we begin to interact? And people were all over the page there. But as I told one elder, you know what, that accomplished my purpose, because I was able to hear where my people are at.
Right.
And they're a representative of others that are out there.
Cool. So, okay, final question I got to ask you. So what things, so let's say over the next 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is, you're going to be able to go back and have your meeting on Sunday mornings. What are you going to maintain that you've learned during this crisis? What are you going to do, whether it be community groups or the way that what are you going to do because of this crisis? What are you going to keep and continue to do after you start meeting?
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely keep the live streaming. We're investing in that for the long haul.
That's
and
great.
we're believing too that in the next 3 or 4 months that Vanderbloemen's going to find us that right worship leader well, who has technical experience, who will take some of the leadership on this.
Absolutely. So, that person might be watching right now. You never can tell.
Watching right now. And we are thrilled to think about it'll lighten my load so that I can focus on other things. Because hearing the former pastor and just thinking about right now, I'm just keeping my head above water and keeping our people connected. Absolutely. But my heart is for the neighborhood here. And thinking about how we can continue to reach out there. But we've got some great young families. We did our goal is to grow younger. We did the Fuller Institute Growing Young conference. There was 18 of us. So actually this has forced us to grow young. Yeah. If you would see my team on Sunday morning, it's our younger people with a couple older ones that are pulling this off.
That's awesome.
So that's just some of the heartbeat that we have and what we're looking for. We're continuing to learn what we'll keep.
Well, and I can tell you, you encouraged so many people today that you took over on the 8th of March and you had your first Facebook event. And the way that you're shepherding and using technology and at the same time reaching the older generation of your church. We love you. We love what you're doing and serving your church, and we're praying for you. And there's going to be a whole lot more people now because they've heard your story, praying for you and your church and really pulling for you. So thanks for taking this time to help other people. God bless you.
All right.